Let's talk to Benedict Spence, political commentator, here with us. Awful April, Benedict. Welcome to it. I was going to say there's no point in pretending that we can play some April Fool's jokes on people, because the biggest joke is this government.
Well, exactly. And we're all sort of sitting here thinking, can we make light of this situation? And I suppose in many ways, that's the only thing that you can do, because it's so farcical, the state at which so many aspects of this country have got into. I mean, you've already highlighted so many in the course of however many minutes this morning, be it migration, be it the ambulance service. I heard you just talking about that. And I was sat there thinking, are they going to tell us, oh, good news, if you die in the back of one, we'll compost you rather than put you in a crematorium? And you sort of sat there thinking, that's exactly the sort of thing that they'd spin and say, isn't this good news? And we'd all have to sit here and go, what? I just want to see a doctor.
Yeah.
I just basic functioning services. Is that too much to ask? To which you're sort of told, yes, it is too much to ask. However, net zero, very important, it is a joke.
I mean, we started this only by chance, because it came up in a conversation with Peter Blexley about Leicestershire police, who are up in arms about all sorts of things. It turns out they've got a tree planting policy. Never mind about arresting any criminals or actually solving any crimes. The one thing they are doing is planting trees. And you just think, how did we get here? How on earth did we get here?
I mean, do you know what? I'll be charitable. I'm all for trees. Trees are good things. But do you know what? Trees plant themselves. Trees are actually really good at it. Trees are fantastic at being able to find spots to grow themselves. You don't have to do it. You just have to get out of your way. But it's the very fact that these are the things that are prioritized. These are the things that are pushed. And that we are supposed to congratulate people. We're supposed to congratulate or be grateful to our authorities, to our police forces, to our fire services, to all of these people when they turn around. And the other thing, of course, is things like gender or racial equality. When they turn around and go, yes, crime stats are down. However, half of us are now one-legged women. And you think, what on earth has that got to do with anything? This isn't what I pay my taxes for. But the police will turn around and say, but it's very important that we get our diversity targets done. And when you have governments and councils and leaders that are so captured by this nonsense, and it gives them an out. And that's the thing. It's always about finding excuses for not having to do things. And again, you picked up on it just there. The idea that a government can turn around and say waiting times are down, and you think, but that's because you found a loophole. You found a way out by cancelling your appointments, not by actually improving things. That's all it is, finding it out.
No. And if you look at this, right, we're going to play this little video about the deportations that have been going on from Number 10. This came out yesterday. I say it's a complete and utter falsehood, all of it. Have a look. Plans for change, but basically they're not doing anything at all. This figure of 20,000 or whatever it is, 19,000 that they've supposedly removed from the country has been a static figure for the best part of the last several months, and they've only added, I think, 4,000 to it in recent weeks. So whatever they were doing, they're not doing any more.
No, exactly. And, when you sort of juxtapose it against the sheer numbers of people who have already come and who will continue to come, you see that it is really a drop in the ocean, that it's no real improvement at all, and it's no real deterrent at all. And I'm always frustrated when it comes to the subject of mass migration and deportations, because people say either it's illegal to do it because of some foreign court says that you can't do it, which is a nonsense argument anyway, or you get from the politicians the standard response is it's very difficult, it's a lot of hard work, it costs a lot of money. And you think, what is that attitude? That you can't do something that is right because it's difficult? So many governments of all stripes in this country have done this, not just here, in Europe, in the US as well. Now Donald Trump is president of the United States. Love him or hate him, do you know what? He's gone, it is hard work, and I'm at least going to try. Right. And that's all that voters demand, is that their governments try. And ours aren't interested in that.
Exactly right. I mean, John F. Kennedy, when he was president, when he talks about the moon program and launching, Apollo missions to the moon, said, we do not do this because it is easy. We do it because it is hard. And that's kind of what you want your politicians to say, isn't it? I've just been handed, by the way, just to go off to the side for a minute, the London Fire Brigade's business case for sustainability. You might wish to know that the London Fire Brigade have got a plan for 2025, an objective to embed carbon zero principles with particular focus on net zero by 2030, waste management and behavioural change. I mean, I suppose there's no point in mentioning that when there is a fire, it's actually not that great for carbon emissions. Maybe just put the bleeding fire out, and that might save the planet all on its own.
I was going to say that, guys. That's your only job.
Yeah.
When there's the fire, you put it out. Great. That's net zero. That's carbon neutral.
Exactly. I mean, who's coming up with all these cobblers, though? This is the thing. It's all been going on behind our backs. Nobody voted for it. Nobody asked for it. These kind of sustainability missions became a thing in every public sector organisation without any of us really realising.
There's a historian called Peter Turkin who has a theory called elite overproduction, which is that when societies begin to collapse, it's because it has too many people doing these jobs. There's an expression for these jobs that I can't use at this time of the morning, but it is a technical term.
I think I know what it is.
Yeah, and it's literally what we're describing is having to find roles for busybodies, having to find roles for people because there isn't really a function for them.
Right.
And that, I think, is what so much of this diversity and net zero stuff is. It's about finding roles for people who have gone to universities to do sociology or whatever it is, media studies or something, and they need a job. They have huge amounts of debt. They're highly qualified in air quotes, but they need a purpose in life, and they take this ideology, which is the fashionable ideology of the elite, and they are able to get jobs this way. And that's the important thing to remember, that this is what is fashionable amongst our political betters in this country. This is what they think is important, so it is foisted on the rest of us.
Yeah, it's absolutely extraordinary. Benedict, good to talk to you. Thanks very much indeed. Benedict Spence, political commentator there.